Weather myth number 1, a warm October, a cold February. Well, this February began with a historic all-time record snowfall, then record-breaking lows.
No one would argue it was a snowy and very cold February, but what was October like?
October was warmer than normal. We had 11 days with temperatures in the 80s. It was 88 degrees back on October the 7th. However, when you look at other years, there is absolutely no relationship between October and February. So that myth is busted. Next, when stones sweat, you'll get wet.
Stones don't sweat, but if you work out hard enough, you can get hard as a rock.
That saying refers to condensation that forms overnight on sidewalks and stones. It means the air temperature has cooled to near the dew point temperature, so there is moisture in the atmosphere, but moisture doesn't always mean it will rain. So that myth, too, is busted.
Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.
Our final weather myth. A college player once swam for a touchdown during a Bedlam game.
That early Bedlam game, in fact, the first ever, was between Oklahoma University Rough Riders and the Oklahoma A&M Tigers. But it wasn't played here in Norman. That game was played in Guthrie.
In 1904, teams wore no shoulder pads or helmets, and the rules were not the same.
In 1904, the college rules were a bit different. A punt could be fielded anywhere, even if it was out of bounds, or even if it landed in a creek.
Early in that game, that's exactly what happened.
An extraordinary thing happened when Oklahoma A&M punted the ball into a very strong wind, and it went straight up in the air, and the wind carried it over the punter's head and out of the end zone and into the Cottonwood Creek.
Both teams scrambled for the ball. The Sooners, or then the Rough Riders, the halfback Ed Cook grabbed the ball and supposedly swam upstream about 10 yards before scrambling back on the banks and then ran back into the end zone and scored. It happened in these waters. In fact, on the 100-year anniversary of that game, this monument was erected where the historic game was played. So that myth, though it's hard to believe, is mostly true.